You know, the coolest thing about that song is that the name of it is actually Cherry Blossom, which fits perfectly for this world. So, welcome everybody. Hello, it is Danlags, and today I have a very special video for you guys. Today I'm going to be giving a tour of my Japanese house that I built. I've been working on this kind of secretly for the last month or so. I originally started this house on a Let's Build, did 2 episodes, but then decided I didn't really have a direction for it. So I took a few weeks off from not building it, started to do the HDTV Dream Home instead, and I came back to it and finished it, and now I think it's one of my favorite builds I've ever done. So we're going to go ahead and do a tour of it today, guys. I'm really excited to finally show you this to you guys, since I know it's been kind of on the down low lately. So here it is, guys. I had titled it Ancient Emperor's Estate. So the idea of this, it's that it's some sort of Japanese estate, some sort of traditional, kind of like ancient style Japanese estate that would be kind of like a country home for the Emperor of Japan. So not sure how realistic it is. I kind of just like built, based off my imagination, and just got a little bit of inspiration from like old Japanese temples. But I just love the way this turned out. Again, this, like I said at the beginning, this is probably already one of my favorite builds I've ever done. And honestly, besides the Alpine Mansion, I don't think I can find a house that I've ever built that I like more than this one. This might be my second favorite house I've ever built behind the Alpine Mansion. I spent so much time on this thing. It took forever. The Japanese cherry blossom trees that you'll see all over the yard, I think there's like 10 of them, I believe, total, including the huge one in the backyard. Those that by themselves took like 5 hours, like especially this one. This one, they're all built like man-made, so like they're all handmade. And this one right here took an hour by itself. It was a grind, but I think it added a really nice, unique, I guess theme to this build. And it's kind of just like tucked off in this own area. There's a snow biome in the back, which I think is kind of cool as well. It just turned out great. It was everything I hoped for in my mind when I first started designing it. Again, I'm not sure how like realistic it is, but that's not really what I was going for. What it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if anybody watches the show Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was an old show, an old cartoon show on Nickelodeon back in like the early or the mid 2000s. It might have been even later than that, like I don't know, it's like 2010 I think is when it finished. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, getting off topic, it's kind of like a Fire Nation house or something like that, if anyone's ever seen that show. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Again, it's not, I don't know how realistic it is, but I'm just going to call it the Japanese house. Just because that's kind of like what I got some inspiration from. There might be aspects of other countries as well in there, but I kind of mentioned that like at the start of the Let's Build. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the tour. So we kind of went through the front yard. Again, the landscape on this stands out. It's so detailed. It took me a long time to put all this stuff in and add all this detail and all the trees and the bridge going across the water. I even have like those Japanese gates that you see all the time. So just tried to make it iconic and, just make it stand out and unique. And it's got to be one of the more unique builds I've ever done. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and fly onto the inside. Check it out. The floor plan on this house, here's the front foyer here. The floor plan on this house is something very different from anything I've ever done. It's going to be crazy. There's so many different things in here that are just totally new and unique for me. So you kind of walk in, and it's a very open concept floor plan where everything is kind of all over the place. So there's a lot of like random ceiling designs. You'll see that all over the house. But if you come right to the left here, this is just kind of like an office or like a private study. Again, I tried to focus the floor plan around like a potential, like this is like kind of like a getaway house for like the Emperor, I guess. So there's like office in here. There's even a bigger office on the top level, which we'll get to. So that was kind of the goal for this house. Obviously, we got a couple of these like low-level sitting areas and these tables. I saw those a lot when just kind of looking up Japanese like interior design. There's a lot of like low-level tables that are really small on the ground and these little pads. So I guess you kind of just sit, crisscross on them and just that's like kind of how they sit. So have a lot of those low-hanging tables on this house. Right here is a little office table right here. So this is just the first room of the house, just a standard little private study. So if we move on, you'll notice that on a lot of the walls of this house, there are windows in them that kind of like look into other rooms. So there's not a whole lot of like, there's a lot of an open space in this house, a lot of, open flow of air and things like that. So right here, I tried to put like this little central thing right here that goes like 4 different directions. And this is supposed to be kind of like a miniature Japanese flag, kind of like that white or red dot in the middle with the white surrounding it. It's a cool flag. I really like their flag. So coming over here, we have the dining room table. So again, low level table. I got a little fern on it and kind of these things here. So Looks pretty good. This is the dining room, so it's got a nice window here that looks out on the backyard. And of course, we'll check out the exterior backyard after we go through the interior design. So right in here, we have the kitchen. And the kitchen's we have a little table over here where you can eat breakfast or things like that. We have the island, of course, the furnaces, the refrigerator, some shelving, some designs in the ceiling for lighting. So pretty cool kitchen. I tried to fit it in. It's a pretty big kitchen, so I like the way this turned out. And if you walk through this wooden wall over here, this takes you to the garage. So here it is. I made a couple of new car designs that I just was experimenting with. So right here is kind of like it's like a sports car, but it's more or less kind of like a race car, I guess. It's got the spoiler on it and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. And then right over here we have what I think is a really, really cool car. I made an Audi, and I have like the red Audi on there with like the 4 circles on it, kind of like interlooping each other. Well, you can't do that in Minecraft, but I went for it there. And this is actually a really cool car design. So let me know, guys, if you want me to do like some sort of like a video on this, doing a tutorial on it, because I actually really like this car design. I'm not sure how original it is, but I just kind of came up with it. I think it looks pretty cool. And it looks like the I guess the security door on these garage doors is malfunctioning right now. I'm gonna have to come back in later and make sure that's okay. That is not good. We want to make sure that's all right. Anyway, in here we have the closet. This is just kind of works as like, you know, some sort of tool shed inside the garage, as well as a little bit of storage for like some barrels of wine. So anyway, that's the garage. Again, we got a couple of nice sports cars in here. Really cool garage. I just like the way it's really low, and it's like it's far off the ground compared to the rest of the house's floor plan. So moving along, if we come over here, we have this kind of random design in the floor. I'm not really sure what this is. Like, I kind of built it, wasn't sure if it was going to be a table or not, or just like a random carpet design. So I just kind of left it here. I have a lot of those all over the house, just to add a lot of like detail and you know, character to the place. So coming up to the second floor here, this is just a staircase that goes up to one room. And this right here is just kind of like the living room, family room space, TV area, like lounge area. So we have a couple of sofas and a nice TV on that wall. And you can actually access a few balconies from here. So this is the balcony right above the garage. And then if you come onto the other side, we have the balcony that is also over the garage. But there's a couple of sitting areas out here that you can kind of like eat outside if it's a nice day, and, you know, gaze over the cherry blossom trees, which is just so cool. So you have one of those on each side, and the umbrella is the Japanese flag. So, well, at least just kind of like a smaller rendition of it. And then right here is the backyard as well. So let's go back on inside, guys, and continue the rest of the floor plan. Like I said, the floor plan is like all over the place. It's got a really unconventional layout to it, but I love that about it. And I love all the detail that I put into like the flooring and the ceiling designs. So that's something that really is evident throughout the entire build. So let's keep on moving on, guys. All right, so let's see what else we want to check out. Let's go through here, and we checked out all this space over here. So we'll kind of move over here again. Random designs in the floor, just because I felt like it. Again, building the default texture pack was pretty fun. I was surprised to see, like, you know, how much this texture pack has changed since I really stopped building on it full time, moving to the city for Los Angeles. Right here we have the laundry room. So got a couple of you know, got a sinks and the washer and dryer, things like that. Here's the a sliding wooden door that leads out to the back of the yard, which we'll check out later in more detail, like I said. So let's keep on going here, guys. Over here we have a couple of closets, kind of one here and one here, identical on both sides, as we head into the I guess what I'm going to call it the east wing of the house. It really just depends, you know, which side you're looking at it from, because from the front it's technically west, but from the back it's east. So, you know, that's always a Inception, but whatever. By the way, some shelving and things like that. Just, again, more random ceiling designs. But this right here has got to be one of my favorite rooms of the house. And this is kind of like a little transition hallway. It's got like this huge like bush thing in the middle. I'm not really sure what this is, but it's kind of like this really cool design. And if you come up here, there's like balconies to go across, and that actually leads up to the upper level of the house, which we'll check out in a few moments. So yeah, I love this area right here. It's just kind of like a hallway that transitions to like kind of the residential area of the house, where we'll have bedrooms, bathrooms, etc., etc. And right here we have 3 kind of openings. In fact, there's actually 4 openings in this wall, which leads out to the Zen garden over here. So, and this also leads out to the pond as well. So it's pretty cool. So we'll walk over to the residential wing of this place. Again, it's a big house. It's got a lot of stuff. I think it's 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. So pretty big. And the cool thing about it is it's kind of like traditional on the outside. It has like kind of like an ancient Japanese like look to it, but on the inside there's a lot of modern concepts. I tried to modernize the interior, so it's kind of like a mixture of like a temple and a house. I just think it was just a really unique thing that I made. Right here is just a couple of little benches here just in the middle of this room with a nice ceiling design. And then right here we have kind of like a hallway that leads to a couple of things. So this is kind of like more or less like the children's area of the house in theory. There's 2 identical bedrooms, 1 on each side. Again, the beds are very low to the ground on this house. I tried to make them very low to the ground. Again, very modern. But that was also something that I noticed in doing some research on like bedrooms designs from Japan. Like a lot of low level beds that are like really close to the ground. So identical bedrooms and bathrooms here. It's like a full bedroom and full bathroom for each child, I guess, or a guest possibly. Right here is the bathroom on each side. So they're exactly the same. So I'm just going to show one of them just for time's sake. Again, it's the exact same bathroom in there on the other side through that door. So let's move on, guys. Over here, we have another bathroom. This is more or less is just kind of like a bathroom for residents or whatever. It's not necessarily like a bathroom that's connected, like an ensuite bathroom. And then right over here, we have like a little toilet design. It's some sort of modern toilet design. Again, when I was doing research on how to do like interior, like Japan style, I found something like this. It was kind of like a toilet. It doesn't necessarily have a back to it, but it has kind of like this lid that rises up. So that's kind of what I did with that. Again, I think that's a design that I've seen before on Minecraft, so it was cool to be able to add that. And of course, all the windows around the house have fence gates that you can open up and look out the windows. So there's a lot of natural lighting on the house, but it still is very private from the outside. There's not a whole lot of windows that really kind of stare into the interior. So a lot of privacy on the interior. So moving on, guys, we're going to go up to the second level. This is the second staircase. Again, the other staircase that we went up earlier does not connect to this side of the house. This room right here is supposed to be some sort of trophy case or shrine room or something like that. Again, these beacons on top of these quartz blocks are just supposed to be some sort of trophy or something like that. Just kind of as like a little transition room to the second floor. So moving on up here, guys, this right here is really cool. So I have another little table here kind of indented into the ground. So you kind of step down to it, which I think is really awesome. And then we have like a nice lighting here in the ceiling that kind of just like, I guess, stares itself upward. So it's really cool, and I added some trapdoors and things like that. So the default texture pack was like perfect for this style of build. I couldn't imagine any other texture pack. Maybe the natural, and I kind of looked at it in the natural for a little bit, and it looked pretty good, but default is the way to go, no doubt about it. Anyway, in here, we have another bedroom. This is just kind of like a guest bedroom here on the master wing of the house. So this whole area is more or less dedicated to the master's part of the house. As you can see, here is the master bedroom right here, but we're going to go into that in more detail after we check out this side. Got the fireplace with 2 rooms on each side of that. Just kind of like a hallway bathroom. Again, this is more or less the bathroom if someone is staying in that bedroom over there. And then this is the closet that goes with that. So there we go. We're going to head down that hallway in a minute, but you can kind of stare down that. And this is the second level of this hallway that we walked across just a few minutes ago. Anyway, moving on to the master bedroom. So we have this kind of like archway design here. Again, low level bed, close to the ground. Same thing with the table. And there's like 4 different ways you can go through here, well, more or less 3. And this is the first area. This is just kind of access to the master balcony where you can check out the front yard. You get a view of the river, the lake, even the Japanese gate. So many of the cherry blossom trees, the front of the house. So nice area. This wraps all the way around. So that kind of just takes you all the way around. So that's pretty cool. The master area has its own balcony, which is nice. And then it also has its own closet here. So we have a closet with some folded clothes, is the carpets, of course. And it even has a little window that peers into the bathroom. So here is the master bathroom, guys. Again, we have the fully equipped full bathroom. It's got 2 sinks, a toilet, and the shower. And it also is a bathtub as well. So pretty nice room, master bedroom, or bathroom. Again, like I said, with these fence gates, the windows are much more private than normal. So it's pretty well concealed from the exterior. And you honestly can't even tell that it's furnished from the outside, which I think is kind of cool. Anyway, let's move on, guys. We're going to head down the path. We're getting kind of close to finishing up the interior, showcasing that and stuff like that. So out here is just another balcony that leads out to the front. You can get a nice view of the cherry blossom. Same thing on that side. But if you walk over here, this takes you up to what I'm calling the Emperor's office, or some sort of, I don't know, just like office that the Emperor can like do work or something like that. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I kind of just dedicated this entire like 3rd attic level to that. So as you can see, we've got the Japanese flag carpets on the floor, a couple of just little benches and things like that, and some tables with some flower pots on it. And then right here is the big desk. So have the nice big desk for the Emperor, the owner of the house. And then we kind of have like these rafters up here, which kind of makes this ceiling vaulted and looks more old-fashioned, which I really like. So I love the way this room turned out, and it has a bunch of different things you can actually do from this. So you can head out to the back balcony here, which is just kind of a small balcony right above the house right here. So Same exact thing on the other side, which just shows off the front yard right here. That's pretty cool. And then there's finally one more right here, which leads out here. And there's a couple of things out here. I guess this is just kind of like if the emperor wants to sit outside one day, or the owner of the house, or whoever. You know, it doesn't have to be an emperor necessarily. But we got a table here and a couple of tables and some chairs with the umbrellas as well. So I think with that, guys, I think we went through the entire interior on this house. Again, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Got a nice big garage with 2 cars, two-car garage. Pretty much everything. I tried to fit as much as I could into this house on the interior. Again, doing the interior in this house was really fun because it was something like totally different than anything I've ever done. And overall, this house itself, just building the whole thing was a really unique project that I just really enjoyed. It was really refreshing building this. I've been grinding to get this thing done, guys. I probably worked on this thing like 10 hours in the last few days. It's been crazy, but it's been a blast. I'm just so happy with this final product. It's something like so different, and that's what I love about it. So before we end this video, guys, I'm just going to check out the backyard in a little bit more detail here. Again, we have another one of these Japanese gates. And, you know, the landscaping on this is really what stands out to me. Again, just all this random bush blocks and things like that. You know, you got the ferns, the roses, the wheat, all different kinds of leaves here. So just a lot of variety and detail went into this. Again, we have the huge Japanese cherry blossom tree, which is kind of like the centerpiece of the backyard. This one's like twice as big as any of the others, or maybe even 3 times as big. It took them forever to make it, that's for sure. And then, like I mentioned over here before, we have the Zen garden. We also have 2 entrances into the main area of the house that we kind of checked out at the beginning. So this house is kind of broken into 2 sections. It has like the main area of the house, which is like, you know, the dining room, the office, kitchen, things like that, living room. And then you have kind of the residential area where like people sleep and, you know, go to the bathroom, which is on that wing. So I kind of just like mixed it into 2 different things and then had kind of like this cool hallway connecting it. And that's what I think is kind of the unique part about this floor plan. So I guess my controller is telling me to conclude this video because I'm running out of power here. But anyway, guys, this is the last thing I want to show. This is kind of just like what I call this chest plate pond because it's kind of shaped like a chest plate in Minecraft. It's got this little like, I don't know, more or less pagoda statue in the middle, little bridge that you can walk across, and then another cherry blossom tree. So, guys, I think that's it. I think I've shown off everything I wanted to show here on my Japanese estate. Not really sure what I'm going to call this thing. I guess the ancient Japanese estate or some sort of Japanese manor, something like that. I'm not really sure what the lingo would be, but I'm so happy. I'm so proud of the way this turned out. Again, it took a lot of time and effort to build this thing, and it really it was so hard for me to keep this thing concealed because I really wanted to show you guys on Twitter and things like that, but I kept it a secret all the way until now. But hopefully you guys do enjoy it, and if you did, be sure to click the like button on this video. It helps me a lot, and I would love to see a lot of support in this video just because I love this house, and I think you guys will really like it too. So, guys, it's been Dan Lags. Hope you guys enjoyed my Japanese mansion here, or manor, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's one of my most unique builds of all time. And the last thing I want to show you guys before we conclude this episode, I just want to show you guys what this thing looks like from an aerial view, because when you really get like a distance view on this thing, I think the cherry blossom trees start to pop a little bit. They have, for whatever reason, they look a little bit better from a distance, and it really starts, you can kind of just like gauge the entire like area that I built here. So it looks really beautiful, honestly, from an aerial view. The landscaping really sets itself apart, I think. So, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. I really hope you did. Again, love this house. Spent so much time on it. It's probably my second favorite house ever behind Alpine Mansion. I honestly am willing to say that. Who knows? Maybe it'll showcase itself on a top 5 list one day. But thanks for watching, everybody. It's been Dan Lags. Japanese Mansion is in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Give it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. All that stuff. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.